Dashcams. That's the thing that's come up for me today, and it came up during the week as well at the TISPOL conference. And so, you know, dashcams have become very popular. The price has come down massively. You can get some very cheap, probably poor quality ones, but very cheap ones now, or you can buy more expensive ones. Some cars have actually got them fitted as standard or can be added as an optional extra. So they're there, they're available, they're functional, and people can use them. So let's sort of look at a scenario. You're driving down the road, you're minding your own business. It's a rural A road, a bit twisty. You get a nice straight stretch, broken white line down the centre, and the car behind, that's a good way behind, is coming up fast, and you're approaching a bend. And as you're approaching the bend, that car keeps coming, and then as the broken white line goes solid, they come out round, overtake you on the bend, nip in, just avoiding the truck coming the other way, and carry on. And you're furious. You've been cut up, they've put you at risk, they've put your passengers at risk, they've put the person in the truck coming the other way at the risk. And the minute you either stop at the side of the road, or because you think it's an emergency, or your passenger is with you or whatever, you get on the phone to the police and say, this vehicle, its registration such and such, and it's done this and it's done that and it's done the other, and it's an absolute disgrace, and I want that driver speaking to it. It's shocking. And in times gone by, the police would have taken that call, and some may still do it, but when it comes across my desk, I deal with it differently. In some circumstances, the police would have gone to visit found out who the owner of that car was, gone to speak to them, said, well, you need to be very careful, blah, 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 because ultimately, we'd only got the evidence of the person that was driving the car to say that this person contravened the solid white line, put the truck in danger, overtook on a bend, blah, 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 blah. We only had their word for it. So you go to them and speak to them, and the person says, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I made a perfectly sensible overtake and carried on my journey, and there wasn't a crash, and we can't prove it, and we can't deny it or prove it. So there's an argument that says, what are we going to speak to this person for at all? Because we can't prove that anything has happened. We can't prove that anything has happened on the road. And invariably, when you're dealing with motorists who are two sides to the coin, different conflicting accounts, and we're just left in the middle, wasting our time speaking to one person and going to speak to the other person as well, who says, I don't know what you're talking about. So a lot of the time, if the circumstances are right, I'll get rid of it. I won't even deploy an officer to it anymore. I might ring the person up and say, look, these are the reasons why we're not going to speak to them. I understand your frustration, blah, blah, blah. However, dashcams are the game changer, because now what was previously uncorroborated evidence is corroborated evidence, because there's video footage of something that has happened in front of you, to the side of you, somebody that's overtaken you, and all that sort of stuff. So suddenly it becomes very different. And what won't be, and what I don't think is in the mentality of the general public at the moment, and it's going to get better. I think they'll start to understand it, and that will probably help with road safety, is that at the moment, I don't think people fully grasp the consequences that pretty much, well, no, not pretty much every car. There are a whole bunch of cars and trucks and vehicles on the roads that are now recording their journey every single day. And if something happens in front of them, they can retain that footage, keep it, clear it off from the machine and start using their machine again. They've got video footage of something that's happened. And the early trailblazers of this kind of stuff was the North Wales Police, who instigated Operation Snap. Operation Snap gave the public the opportunity to submit dashcam footage to them for them to review, work out whether or not there's sufficient evidence for a prosecution, and then take it from there. My own force, under our superintendent who leads road policing, have also now got a similar platform going on our own website. You can submit footage, and prosecutions are coming out of it. as more and more people become aware of the fact that every car around them is watching them and could potentially be capturing what they're doing, people are going to hopefully start adapting their behaviour. But I think dashcams are going to be a big game changer in this regard, because what was previously uncorroborated evidence is going to be corroborated evidence, because the driver of the car will provide a statement that says, this is what happened and this is what I saw and this is how it was, and here's the video footage to prove it. The driver of the car generally won't have another leg to stand on, and I anticipate that quite a lot of it will be guilty pleas. So people are going to start acquiring points because they're just not thinking about the fact that, you know, they wouldn't do what they'd just done if they knew there was a police car behind them. They wouldn't have done it. So now they have to start thinking that perhaps every car around them, if it's got a dash cam in, is as good as being a police car, because it's going to capture that footage. And so people are going to start getting prosecuted for things. So I think dash cams are going to be a real game changer. Every time we see a major incident now, whether it's a road traffic matter or whether it's a terrorist incident or whatever it happens to be, the police will be saying, any members of the public who've got images or video footage or have live streamed it, we want to speak to you because you might have evidence that's crucial to our investigation. So there's all those kind of things going on. We're asking for that sort of stuff all the time, and the public are going to get more and more aware of it. The public are going to start submitting more content to us. It's going to be a change, I think, in the way that we prosecute a lot of road traffic offences. If we've reduced, this is not a sort of as far as road traffic policing numbers are concerned, they've gone down and prosecutions have gone down. This is a way they're going to go back up again. It's not by increasing police officers, which is, you know, a sad thing from my point of view, but as far as road safety is concerned, it's a good thing, because suddenly all these people who are doing dangerous things on our roads are going to find that there's video footage that backs up what somebody said they've done, and then they're going to be in a pickle. I think the dashcams are going to be a game changer. The MPCC lead, Chief Con Anthony Bangham from West Mercia Police, was at the TISPOL conference this week. He is exploring a national platform where people nationally will be able to submit dashcam footage to be reviewed and then passed out to forces to deal. That will be a huge step. I think in the meantime there'll be quite a number of other forces that jump on board that and do something individually already. North Wales, my own force, and others to come. I'm sure, but eventually the national platform would, hopefully, if it came to fruition, would take over, which would be an amazing thing, a bit like Action Fraud, but for submitting dashcam footage for review and then prosecution and onward, out it goes. You know, be a bit of an administrative process that things would have to go through with 172 notices and NIPs and all that kind of stuff, which I'm not going to explain in this blog, but ultimately, why wouldn't it work? And why shouldn't it work? There we go. I think dashcams are going to be a game changer, and so every driver on the road now has to think that every other car is video recording what they do, and is going to get submitted to the police. That fear of getting caught is a powerful message, and one that perhaps hasn't been as strong as it could have been over the last few years, as the demand on the police has increased, meaning that some things, you know, don't get dealt with in the same way that they used to do. So it'll be interesting to see how it develops, but dash cams are a game changer, definitely, and every driver on the road now needs to be mindful of the fact that the car behind them or the car coming the other way is video recording what they've just done. The thing that I've been pushing recently as well is about drivers. We need more respect. We need more courtesy, and we need more politeness and patience on the roads. And we only do that if we start to display those characteristics ourselves. So the tweets I've been putting out, is, you know, it said, be the driver that you want everybody else to be. I can't think of a person who says, I want, you know, I like drivers who are aggressive, who jump out of their car and come and bang on my window and shout abuse at me because they think I've cut them up, or I want people to pull out of junctions in front of me so I have to slam my brakes on because they've not, you know. I've never met somebody who says I want drivers to be like that. I've only met people who say I want drivers to be polite, courteous and respectful. And if we want polite, courteous and respectful drivers, well then we have to start, first of all, with ourselves by being polite, courteous and respectful. So be the driver you want everybody else to be. That patience, respect and courtesy, for me, starts at home. with us as drivers, and if we display those characteristics, other people may be inclined to display those characteristics, and it becomes a snowball. Who knows? Maybe. See you later.